Prime Minister announces plans for another Zoso by March, breaks ground for 1,000-room hotel in Trelawney, and
I am totally devastated by this. And hearing it, my wife and myself, totally in shock. And I wish to express the deep sympathy and condolences.
You're watching Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Lorraine Mendez.
As soon as we have approved the next budget, which will be by the end of March. And in fact, you are likely to see a zone declared even before the end of March, in anticipation of the resources allocated in the budget.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness confirming government's plans to scale up the zones of special operations, ZOSOs. He was speaking during Tuesday's sitting of the lower house, where motions to extend the ZOSOs in Mount Salem and Denham Town were approved. The ZOSOs, which are currently in their build phase, will continue for another 2 months. In addition to building leadership in the zones, land regularization is ongoing in Mount Salem, while a $184 million infrastructure program has started in Denham Town.
We believe that these interventions through the zones of special operations will contribute to the reduction of the murder rate, to the reduction of crimes generally, but to, more importantly, Mr. Speaker, establish peace in our country.
While in Parliament Tuesday, Mr. Holness said Jamaica had sought and received support from the European Union to execute ZOSOs and other intervention programs.
More and more, Mr. Speaker, our development partners are taking interest in the zones of special operations because the challenge of violence in communities is not just a Jamaican occurrence. It is happening right across the Caribbean and in the wider Latin American region. So what we are doing is being studied. People are taking interest in it to see how well it works.
The Prime Minister asserted that the special security measures had been effective, pointing out no murder had been recorded in Mount Salem and only one in Denham Town since their declaration as ZOSOs. As at February 4, the island recorded 46 fewer murders than the same period last year.
All possible measures that are permitted within our constitutional arrangements are being used.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness also joined parliamentarians this week in paying tribute to slain East Portland MP Dr. Linville Bloomfield.
Upon hearing the news, I was devastated. Because not that he was a member of parliament and therefore there is some protection around him. But when it comes close and you can relate, it's a different feeling than hearing what is being said on the news. But this is someone that you know. And this, Mr. Speaker, is the experience of the average Jamaican. I think what we could do in honor of our colleague is to reaffirm cooperation in the fight against crime.
By Wednesday, the Prime Minister was in Trelawney to break ground for the 1,000-room H10 hotel. The first 500 rooms will be available by December. Mr. Holness welcomed the investment, saying the hotel's construction and operation would employ over 1,000 Jamaicans.
And that is the shared benefit of investment. That is what we mean when we say we believe in inclusive growth and prosperity. Not just the kind of investment that turns over money and increases profit, but the kinds of investment that can turn around lives and increase the quality of life that people experience. Tourism is doing that in Jamaica.
Looking to the future, the Prime Minister said government would be using tourism as one of the sectors to grow the economy beyond 2% in the April to June quarter this year.
Growth is all about value creation. So, yes, we could be making investments. Yes, we could be bringing in new capital. But the question is, what is the value that is being created in the local economy? So if it is that we are importing all that we are using to build, then that doesn't count towards growth. If it is that we are importing all the food that will be sold in the hotels, that does not contribute towards growth. What contributes towards growth is when the farmer across the road can get his or her products into the hotel to be sold.
Back at Jamaica House Tuesday, the Prime Minister met with head of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, Pastor Ted Wilson. Mr. Holness used the occasion to thank the church for its role in various humanitarian efforts which have impacted the lives of many Jamaicans. And all last week, Mr. Holness met with agencies under the Office of the Prime Minister to get progress updates on their programs. They include the Ministry of Science and Technology, the Jamaica Information Service, Chase Fund, JSIF and the NHT. And that's it for Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us next time for more of the news stories coming out of the Office of the Prime Minister.